It's supposed to be. Now it is. Welcome. Thank you. Is it Phalan?
Yeah, Phalan. Phalan. Yeah, I respond to both Phalan, Phalan. Yeah, so my journey started with not really started with the screenplay, but something that was buzzing in the background. I felt, I guess as you guys did, my life work's calling. Hey, try to figure out how to create a better glue, that guides people through some of these experiences in life, to take into account how people really think and some of the some of the very confusing signaling that happens that compels people to deviate from any path to any level of real happiness or enlightenment, so to speak. Voodoo versus AI, the fire path was just that, a convergence story to talk about how some of these older ways of knowing are converging with some of the newer ways, newer pathways that are being developed, are finding inroads into the things that have always kind of been there, and my idea was, okay, how do I bring the spirits to life in real world and have them guide us, you know? And I realized that I love that you guys, I love the fact that you're describing it as what I'm doing with my download, you know? Because this is exactly how I was feeling when it was coming. It just felt so inspired. Like there was nothing, I had to basically drop everything and just do this. Like I literally had to drop everything and just do this. Like it started off with the screenplay, and then with COVID, I'm like, this is a really good idea. I started talking to people like Jerry a few years ago. And lots of different systems thinkers got into DAOs, got into a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was already into systems thinking 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I've been wired like this my whole life. So
Right?
yeah, so
And
it's
it
it's
percolates to a point where the pressure builds so much, you have to do something about it.
you have to.
You have to be constructive and purge it in some sort of fashion that's going to work for you without it being like a massive detriment, like a complete mental breakdown
Yeah.
or going ballistic and postal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, and for me, it was just that, I felt compelled, almost. I actually stopped writing the screenplay and started to focus more on the actual app that I'm building. It's it's a good one. It feels like it bears some connection to what you guys are doing. Um, I would love to talk more about it, but we're still in development and we've been doing this whole stealth thing. And as a Taoist, it's kind of tough for me to navigate those areas of like, okay, how monetization and and just really remunerating people for the contributions that they put into the thing, and as much as my entrepreneurial life might have been not the most successful, I do realize that we do live in a system where, certain things have to kind of like happen. So brought in a CEO a little while ago to kind of like help navigate through most of those things, and at the same time try to create a framework where we can invite people to help us in a very anti-rivalrous way, in a very anti-rivalrous way. I've noticed good intentions really just don't cut it, because once the pressure hits the fan with people, they can't really help as much as they want to, and you don't want them to make those type of sacrifices to help. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're raising money where we've had way too many conversations. We've spent way too much time inside the cave refining. And that's it. Meta narrative driven engagements, finding ways to 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 create these kind of arcs that people can follow out in the real world that navigates them to certain types of truths, and do that within trusted circles is kind of our angle, that's as much as I can say, I guess, but yeah, I love what you guys are doing. It feels like an alternative to the Facebooks.
And we actually have one woman, she's developed the We Network, and she's been working with Bitrix to create a social networking platform with a purpose. That's her goal. And we've been working with her, and we've been helping her find some other tech people to get involved on that end. But right now it kind of works. There's a lot of bugs in it. And what we do by providing the structure is we're saying, all right, you have a network that you want to develop here, and you want to have metrics that you're measuring things by so that people can see the progress of a task or a mission, and they can get involved with the specific focuses, around a subject that they care about and they're passionate about. And so there are so many different ways that can be done. That can be done as a platform. It can be done on the grounds. It can be done in a caravan. It can be done in a business and even government. So that it's that flexibility that we want to be able to provide for everyone.
Mhm. Yeah, no, and that's been my angle as well. That the idea of life as it happens, has been one of our driving, yeah, one of our driving goals to create a type of network that can literally be imposed on anybody's life, superimposed on anyone's life, and help them, and not create a conduit for people to virtue signal, but to be productive and to define productivity in a way that it isn't being described today. You guys still couldn't see me. Okay. Yeah, so it's been interesting. It's been quite the journey. The technical journey has been kind of tough. The thinking has definitely been tough. I could only imagine. I was seeing what you guys have there. Seems really comprehensive. To be honest with you, I didn't even go through it. I just kind of like felt my way around it. I felt my way around it, and I'll dive in a little bit deeper. Just wanted to connect and share stories and to see like whether or not I found kin. I'd love to collaborate with you guys. I've found Ken. I think I found Ken, and I would love to collaborate with you guys and learn a lot more.
And that's great. We love to have collaborators. I'm trying to get this word up and ready to share here, because this is like a roadmap of some of what is showing on the website. So there's a lot of different moving parts here. And we want people to collaborate with us and work to make this the new way to empower and inspire the people in their own environment, their own growth and development, and also how they work with others, how they play with others, bringing more excitement into our lives and not feeling like the work that we're doing, because we're always going to be doing work, but we want to love the work we're doing. We want to make sure people are happy with what they're doing and who they're working with. And that requires a bit of like bolstering of positive affirmations, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, having the ability to identify when somebody else is feeling sad and being able to have the compassion to help lift them up. And we talk about this in terms of, instead of a handout, we want to give everybody a hand up to empower themselves to be able to be stronger. So this board is the beginning of our Soul Spark game that we've been working on. Mainly, I've been developing the board, but Nate has done a lot of the back end work in investigating and getting the proper credibility for this game to really soar. So we're looking at the character strengths and virtues by Seligman and Peterson as a baseline for this game. And we have these rules up here that we've created for both individuals building soul sparks. It's like a map of your soul. And then you can also map out for an organization or a project. And so I won't read through all this. I want to give you a chance to do that yourself. I can give you a link to this board to view it. But I wanted to go down specifically to show you what we're talking about when we talk about the character strengths and virtues. So there are 6 different virtues as identified by positive psychology and the psychological community. There's a handbook that Seligman and Peterson developed, and you can find a link to that on our website and also on this board. And so all of these badges here, icons, were then created using their icons that they use to identify these specific core virtues and strengths. And me being a Reiki master, I've been a Reiki master for over 20 years. I've done a lot of study in chakra healing and cleansing of our bodies, and how that empowers us as individuals to heal not just our body, but our mind and our spirit, and become more whole and able to have enjoyment in our lives. And so then that's why the colors have been made the way that they are, because this I'm identifying like what chakra these different virtues and strengths really are focusing in. And it's more than just one, so that's why it's multicolored. Identifying that. Yeah, go ahead.
Question for you. How are you, are people playing the game online? Like I said, I just kind of like felt my way through it. I saw a lot of information and I just did a quick scan and I saw all of the things that you're talking about. And I was just feeling my way through. And if you're talking about a global game that people are playing and somehow finding these little icons and badges, and I obviously see that there's some type of organization going on here in terms of social structuring and organization, and if people are playing this game right and they do get somewhat seduced to incorporate it in their flows, I see something happening there without actually going super into depth with it. Now, I'm a UX designer, and what I actually do is try to do what you guys are doing, clearly, but I work within the augmented reality space.
Right.
I work within the augmented reality space, and what I've been trying to do is create something peer-to-peer. And I played with the idea of extended cognition, and connectivity, and people sharing values, and the idea of a chakra, a system based on chakra, you know, like some type of spiritual system that is serving as a kind of like DevOps, a social DevOps, you know? and and I like that. I actually like that, and I feel the connection between what you guys are doing here. You know, I feel the connection between what you guys are doing here. I haven't like sat there and actually developed like a game or anything like that. You know, most of the stuff has been more on the technology end for me. You know, the actual sitting there and doing like a game is what I wanted to invite people like you to the platform to be able to do, you know? So that's what I'm developing it for, to kind of create this type of anti-rivalry environment, this kind of open standards where people are able to kind of adapt what it is that we have to what it is that they're doing, you know? And immediately as I was looking at it, I'm like, I wonder how this would fit. You know, I wonder what it would look like to have something like this as one of the featured games on the platform, you know, like something that is catchy that folks will actually like. You know, there's a lot I can go into to tell that I can't, you know what I'm saying? Because of but there's definitely alignment there. And I liked you from the moment I met you. And just the space where some people talk from, because I talk to all types of really, really technical folks, and then I can talk to people who are kind of neuroatypical, and you can tell that they're a bit of polymaths. They kind of are more broader thinkers, and don't have as much of an attachment to the current flows as most do, and do live with a sense of authenticity and a calling to bring their gifts to help mankind, you know. And I know how this world treats those people, you know. I'm one of them, you know. So there's always a fictive kinship when it comes to um, how I view folks like that, you know. So hello.
Thank you.
Uh,
And I just want to bring it back to this whole situation that we are in, which is we have an unconscious human race.
yeah,
They're asleep.
yeah,
And when I talk about the correlation between the character strengths and virtues and the sectors of society, and then bring in chakras, they're not even going to read that. That's
yeah,
why I went this path of coloring it, because they don't need to know what a chakra is.
mm,
It's not the most important thing right now. What's the most important thing is, what are your core values? What are you really passionate about? What do you really care about? And how can you contribute? What skills do you have that you may not even know you have, or that you want to learn and explore, you know? And coming in from that agnostic social paradigm, and not going directly to, oh, we need to be holistic, healing, homeopathic, which is a turnoff for a lot of people. But if we just
mm,
stick to these core strengths and virtues, also identifying superheroes that we identify and want to demonstrate our ability to uh, mirror. What is the word for that? um,
to
that's something that everybody in any culture can identify with, because it can be a hero in your community, it can be a hero in mythology, lore, and science fiction, comic strips, whatever, you know, and it's
mhm.
all over the world. So
Yeah, no, I definitely like it. I definitely resonate with that. One of the things that we're doing is engaging some of the indigenous population in the Amazon, and trying to get them. Well, my partner is is connected to a couple of those tribes, and we're trying to see if we can embody some of their native stories on the app, and yeah, and do a couple of other cool things there also, to give them a way to fight back against illegal logging, and for I'm working with someone in India who I want to help um, with the stray animal population over there, to create robust communities that would be able to um to robust communities that will be able to to create a sense of stewardship, you know, for these animals, over these animals. You know, cows are pretty sacred over there, and they're like stray dogs here. So these communities usually get together and feed them. They feed the dogs, and in here we want to do kind of what you're talking about, to create these narrative driven stories that allow people to to disambiguate the complexities around them, to leave these little clues where they need them, you know
Right.
to help people help other people, and it's been a lot of work. I've been on the phone trying to talk to VCs and raise some money. I have I have the intention of bringing on more collaborators. My partner and I, we intentionally just kept everything developed within a silo recently. Been working with a few people, and now we're in the space where we're gonna more than likely do some kind of SQL lab-ish kind of grouping, but to create an opportunity for people to be remunerated for the input that they're putting in also, hence why we're raising money. I'd like to continue this conversation with you guys. I would love for you guys to help me, and yeah, I'd like that. I'd like that a lot.
Have you heard of Civil X yet?
Civil X.
Yes.
Not Civ, like Civilization, the game.
Yeah,
Civilization Explorer.
it is a game.
Civilization. It is a
Yeah.
game. Okay, not the popular Civilization game,
Nope.
No.
but a Civilization Explorer. Explain, please.
Yes. They're using Unity.
Okay.
And I think they might be bridging to Unreal also. I think
Oh yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. It's that AR thing, right? I think it's the
yeah,
AR thing, right? Yeah, yeah.
all about co-creation and enter your portal here. It's kind of a solar punk
Yes.
primary theming.
Yeah, I did. I definitely heard of that, and we're going a whole different route than that. We're
Yeah,
going a
well,
whole different route than that. We're going so much more simple. The whole idea was we're not going to create any content.
mhm.
We're not gonna create any content.
So you're starting
And
with a basic framework that
mhm,
gets augmented overlay in the real world, like as you're
yeah,
doing augmented. So
yeah,
let the real
exactly.
world be your platform
Let the real world be your platform.
to
Exactly.
navigate through, and then you're sliding in storylines and narratives.
Ex- exactly. Let the real
Okay.
world be your platform, and then we slide in the storylines, and people slide in their own storylines. We have like maybe a narrative on top that is, as I was describing in the meeting, this just something that delineates a layer of abstraction, right?
Yeah.
And within that layer of abstraction, you can have people who just kind of like converge there and meet and talk and leave things. But what I want to do is not necessarily just to leave it blank, because the real world is really, really, really big, and people already have a hard enough time just navigating through it. Stories like yours, like those games like yours, like that people can move around with, is kind of what we're looking at. What where we would hope to invite creators like yourself onto the platform to co-create with us, you know. um yeah.
Can I have your,
um
oh, right, I have
Yes,
your
we have the
email.
email.
Okay, I'm gonna send you an invite to go on that board when you have a chance. There
Okay.
is a link on that board also that I can share right now. This is a slideshow that I have a few cards that I need to fix on it, but this is kind of like the foundation of what the soul sparking is.
Okay.
Which includes branching out to be included into like onboarding, storyboarding, all these different things. It's like that core seed intended as like we're trying to position ourselves as neutral, agnostic, and openly diverse.
Hmm.
So no matter if you're human, it applies, right? And go from
Hmm.
there and just concentrate on the well, pull it in, validate it, and as that gets done, it builds and builds and builds, and it's like titanium, where it's
Impenetrable.
near impenetrable and pushing out the chaff, right? So it's going to be attracting, just like your game is going to be attracting primarily two different types of people: the leaders that are doers, they're leading the forefront in what they want to do, these different types of concepts and projects, and then the other people trailing up that just want to follow
Or help. I mean, it's more about engendering that desire to help. We're all here to help, but not everybody has the feeling or belief that they can, because they don't know how to help. I mean, you know, there are all kinds of ways that people can get involved in their community, for example, to provide and promote more sustainable practices and regenerative processes, but they don't, because they don't know how their spark is really going to help, because they haven't been able to identify clearly what their spark is. So that's, you know, if we can get more people involved in just identifying your own sparks and being able to share from a position of empowerment and not depression. I mean, there's a lot of depressive shares out there right now, and that's not the kind of world that is going to succeed. At least I don't think it is. Did we lose you?
No, so I'm really happy to have met you guys. I we have a a goal to kind of launch this whole collaborative spree, I guess, within the next month. You know, we're giving ourselves a month because we're trying to raise a few million now. That's going to help us towards the a 9 month goal to release something. You know, we're we're outside of the thinking. It's more a question of just sitting down and getting all the coding right and testing. You know, so um, been talking to a lot of ethics people and I've been more of the creative engine, but there's just so much, and my creative has been more around the the execution more so than the honey, you know, the things that are going to get people attracted to it and the things that are going to get people to stick there, you know. Is more the experience than the actual content space,
right?
and I'd love to continue the conversation with you guys.
Of course.
When
If you
would you
guys are,
like to connect again? So let's
um,
try to
let's
set up.
connect. Let's connect next week. Let's connect on because like I said, I'm pitching and I have to really just be like in serious pitch mode all well, hopefully it won't be like all month. Hopefully, yeah, we've been trying to get our one pager together, and we've got our deck together. That deck took literally like 2 works to get 2 years to get all of that stuff refined into what we have, in a way that investors will take a look at it and say like, okay, you guys are not quacks, you guys are, and we've spoken to enough everything scientists out there. We have a couple of guys on OGM working on this with us. Yeah, it's been quite the journey, and we're here, and it's beautiful meeting you guys. I would say Wednesday would be good. I think Wednesday would be good. Wednesday, what time? Where are you guys at? I'm in Arizona. Where are you guys?
Pacific. So that puts us what, 1 hour off?
No, no, I'm on Pacific time now too. Arizona is weird because we have a few months out of the year where we're on California time, and then the other times we're like on mountain time. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
The
it's
time
weird.
is time.
I'm from Brooklyn, so all of this is rather new to me. So
Okay,
so
nice.
let's say Wednesday. Wednesday sounds good. Is that okay?
Okay, morning, midday, or early afternoon?
Let's. So you're on the same time zone with me. Let's say Wednesday morning. I'm usually up at about 5 a.m. So Wednesday morning before noon works best for me.
10 a.m. is our usual time for these kind of meetings. Would that
Okay,
work?
that works fine for me. I work around you guys. That's why I kind of left it a little bit open. Just to resolve any challenges with the technology that you guys might have.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday, you said 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Would that, okay, Wednesday, 10 a.m. You want to do it on a Google Calendar, and we'll know like what time
Yeah,
to check
I'll
in?
put it on the Google Calendar and send you an invite
Okay,
through the mail. That's how
okay,
it works.
all right.
And then yeah, okay, this is great. I'm super excited, and today is the 12th, and the 15th, 16th would be Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, this is your deck?
What's up?
This is the deck, the Great Works Introduction. Okay, cool.